So here is Gary Peniket. Gary, thanks for joining us. You've just unfortunately left day one here at the 888 SuperStack, but you've had a fun tournament, and you were going to tell us about one hand in particular that
there was one hand that will stay with me. I had kings under the gun +1. There was already a limper, so I raised with kings as standard. It comes down to the big blind who just flatted my raise. It went to the flop, and the flop come down ace, queen, ace. And the guy who was under the gun led out a little bit suspiciously, so I just flatted the call, and the big blind raised. The original limper went all in. I'm thinking my kings don't look too good here, with two people interested in the two aces on the flop. So I folded, I kept them to one side. The big blind showed queens, so she'd flopped the full house, ace, queens and aces. The other guy had ace 10. Anyway, so everyone's going, oh wow, you know, what a big hand. The turn was a king, so I would have been loving that. And the river was a king, so I basically folded quads.
Oh my goodness.
At the time I was third of 3, so I did the right fold. But if only we have the foresight of what's coming, do you know what I mean? But I would have tripled up, I'd have been up to about 60, 70,000. But, I mean, I made the right fold, but what can you do?
It was the correct play, obviously, but just that really unfortunate time.
I just wish one of them had slow played it. You know, one of them, I think most people would have stuck. Once you should have probably raised pre-flop, which point would have got it in coins against kings, to be fair. And then secondly, on the flop, if somebody flopped the full house, you're thinking, well, they're gonna maybe try and milk it, but no, they got really busy at the wrong time for me. But that's the way it goes.
Hey ho, no, it was an exciting hand, and like you say, every hand of poker can just be played in so many different ways, depending on when the money goes in. It's a big influence right on the action. Where's your kind of plans now, Gary, for what you do in tournaments? Because we were talking before, you sat at the final table with Gus Hansen at the poker.
Yeah.
Probably the highlight of your career so far, to say.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, and how do you take what you learned from that into your next tournaments?
But that was a little bit different because it was basically a 50 big blind format, and you know, it's a standard sort of sit and go. Where if you made one mistake in that, you were pretty much out, you know. And but this being a super stack, you know, you've got a lot more play post flop, so you can get a little bit more involved with it. Having said that, you know, you can't let it rest on your laurels too much, because the blinds do creep up, and you do need to take chances, because you can spot people who are maybe sitting back waiting for hands, and I think you need to try and spot those spots to, you know, actually creep up with your chip count, because it's no good sitting around all day waiting for hands. You really do need to get busy at some point. So unfortunately I'm here sitting talking to you now, but you know, it's one of them things, it's not easy.
Absolutely. Well, 157 people have paid entry anyway to get into this tournament.
Right,
156 will be talking to me in this situation.
Well,
of course,
so I'm not alone.
Absolutely. But you know, a super stack has that very different feel to it than, like you say, a regular sit and go or maybe a turbo style tournament, where you have to look for those positions, and for somebody like yourself who's quite experienced, it brings a skill element higher up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so, you know. And I mean, to be honest, you do get people playing for the first time live. You can tell that they've qualified and they're not too sure of the action, sort of thing. But you know, having said that, people are so much more experienced with Hold'em than they were maybe 3-4 years ago, you know. And you know, a lot of the time the hands will play themselves, and the thing to do is to try and put the pressure on when the opportunity arises. But I mean, the thing with tournament poker, really, you've got to play well and you've got to be lucky, you know, and we all know it. But you know, you endeavour to keep at it, but it's finding them spots. And you know, the hand that you spoke about there, that was my spot. You know, if I win that, I've got so much play there. But unfortunately, it didn't play out the best way for me, and you know, celebrate.
Absolutely, no. You get fine margins can create, you know, chip leader or short stack.
But if either of the two players had played it slightly differently, I'd triple up. As it turns out, I mean, I didn't lose a lot as it happened. The other player actually, the woman who flopped the full house, actually effectively crippled her really. You know, she did nothing wrong either. Obviously, she flopped the full house and she lost, you know, 2/3 of the stack. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, you can be really lucky. You think you've got it sussed, and you know, it knocks you back down again. You know.
Absolutely. Live tournament poker is, like you say, especially multi-table, you know, large formats like this with 100 plus players. they do rely so much on luck, but also it's the thrill of the kind of live play and trying to get right to the end of it. Do you still enjoy that as much as you always have?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the last few I haven't had a particularly good run, but if you know, prior to Christmas, for example, I made about 3 final tables on the trot, which was great. But you know, this whole thing about running good and running bad, it's so true. You know, I think we all look for sequences of, you know when you're hitting your draws, and you know when other players are missing their draws, and sometimes it just goes in sequence, you know. And at the moment, you know, I'm not hitting mine, and other players are. But I think the more you play, you understand that you just take it on the chin and know that eventually it will turn around. And it helps you deal with it, you know. But you know, when it's not going your way, it's sometimes difficult to take. I mean, I've just been knocked out that one. I'm disappointed, but you know, it's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, as you play the game more, you get more accustomed to bad beats, and such things don't really take too much.
It's a frame of mind thing, you know. I mean, if you asked me 2 years ago, you know, I'd have been this and that, but you know, within a couple of minutes now, you go back to poker sort of thing. And you know, I'm still learning the game myself. I've only been playing 3 or 4 years, but you know, we all play so much online, and you just see so many. I mean, that to be honest, that hand today I described there is just about as mad as I've seen. We were saying, everyone was at the table, you saw that online, you'd be like, it's rigged, you know. But you see some crazy things at poker, and it can be heartbreaking, but that's why we love it, really. You know?
Absolutely, it's why it's the most entertaining game in the world, in our opinion, certainly. But and it sounds like yours as well. So you'll chip away. Well, if I can ask, just finally, Gary, what led you to discover the game just 3 years ago? Because you come across as somebody who's obviously taken a huge interest in the game. You know a lot about it online and live, but what led you to the game, and why did you only take it up 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, I suppose as a teenager, sort of thing, we used to play brag a lot, and I always used to love playing cards. I think I just started, to be honest, I started watching it on TV, the World Series of Poker and everything like that, and the whole thing with the moneymaker effect and Joe Hatchim and everything like that. I just happened to come across it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, really, if my memory serves me right. You know, seeing the whole commentary of it all, it looked so exciting to me, and I managed to qualify for the main event in 2009, which was only like probably 2 years into playing. You know, I got lucky, you know, won a satellite, and before long I was playing the main event, which, you know, when I first started playing, I was thinking, God, I'd love one day to play for that. And I managed to play it, and you know, I got to day 3, and I had a fantastic time to play. You know, playing in that arena was amazing. And for me, once you've got that bug, and if you get excited by watching it on the TV, and then you strive to get to them, and you do it, you know, it's in your blood then, sort of thing. And so I think now I've sort of played as long as I have, be it 4 or 5 years. I'm absolutely loving it, you know. So the thing is, I was saying to my friend the other day, you always end up disappointed with poker. You get to a final table, you can finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, you always end up walking away a little bit gutted. So, as you said earlier, there's going to be 156 players gutted here today, you know, tomorrow, whenever it finishes. But that's just the way poker is, you know. And,
that's the kind of sickness of the game. Everyone but one player is queuing up to lose, really. But it's, you know, you rate yourself, and you look at your statistics, and you know, you do take the pleasure in where you finish. You know, you finished 2 out of 156. You shouldn't really be disappointed.
You know? And like, you really should be saying, "Oh, well done." I think this is that whole mindset thing that you sort of learn the more you play, you know. And you know, I'm still learning myself, but to be honest, you know, it's that sort of situation where it's a case of how long it stays with you, how disappointed you are, but how long you keep that disappointment, or do you just say, okay, that's the game, when's the next one, sort of thing. And you know, but it's great fun, and you know, everyone here is enjoying themselves today, and they'll go on till tomorrow, obviously. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Gary, and giving us what is definitely an extended interview. I really appreciate your time, and well played today. Unlucky on that hand, but thanks for telling us about it. Hopefully we'll see you again one of these soon.
Most welcome, thank you.
Awesome. Cheers, Gary.